L4D2 community. My name's K3 and I just woke up. I'm here today joined by Novos. Say
Hey
hi,
everyone.
Novos.
Hey everyone, how you doing?
And today we're bringing you a round 3 match from Dead Center on the Quarantine Cup 2020. And as tired as I am right now from just waking up, I am very much expecting I'm going to be woken up by the play of this home and away game. We've got Lost in the Sauce versus 5MO. 5MO being a European team from Taiwan, a European team. Okay, clearly, you can see that I am exactly as tired as I claimed I was. 5MO being an Asian team from Taiwan, who I didn't really know much about leading into this tournament, but round one they scored, I believe it was almost 7K points in 4 maps on their home server, and then on their round two they kind of gave my team the business pretty hard, and yeah, they came out in full force, and so I'm really expecting some strong play from them. But team lost in the sauce. Lots of really experienced players. What are you expecting to see from this match, Adofos?
Yeah, I expect to see a good game from both teams. They're both really strong and they've got a lot to prove. So, yeah, I expect a really kind of close game coming out. Don't really know how to call it, to be honest, who it will go to. Really kind of hyped to see this match, to be honest. Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you had asked me, before this tournament, I'd say, oh, lost in the sauce just based on the players. I know them all.
Yeah,
They're all very strong. And they might have been a favorite, but after watching Team 5MO play their recent games, I cannot call it either. I think it could totally go either way in this match here. I'm really interested to see how Team 5MO hold their own against one of the higher seeded teams in the tournament and Lost in the Sauce.
well, that's the danger, isn't it? It's playing an unknown entity. No one really knows how 5MO play. And playing against a team like Lost in the Sauce, everyone knows how they're going to play. Everyone's been watching their games. They are anticipated as one of the better teams in this tournament. So if I was in 5MO's shoes, I would have been doing my homework on them, learning what to do and how to defeat them. So yeah, it's a scary position to be in if you're in Lost in the Sauce.
Absolutely. So we have. I didn't actually know that Deck was on their roster. I did not know.
I think he's subbing for this game.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the guy who is, I checked the aliases of the guy who is all the different Mandarin characters. I am unsure on how to call that guy. That being said, if someone at some point was able to tell me exactly what I should be calling that guy, I will be very extremely thankful. But that being said, we are going live here on the home server, the European, or actually the North American server. It's going to be for Team Lost in the Sauce on their home game today. We have this tank. I thought that the tank spawn was blocked, but I guess not. So I guess I was completely wrong about that. So we are going to see a late tank. We do have a hit coming in here super quickly. Pull gonna try to get something forward here. Isn't going to land for too much. That's a pretty solid shutdown on this first hit. So I'm just going to do a quick roster run for Team 5MO. We've got Kiyomi, Deck, the Kalank, and the Chinese characters that I'm unable to pronounce. And who do we have for Team Lost in the Sauce?
You have Presto, you got Sheep, you got Sue, and you got Wasad. I'm not really sure who that is.
Is it Baby Crunchy?
Maybe.
Hold on, I'm going to find this out.
Yeah, we really should have done our homework on the players. Sorry about this.
Yeah, no, his profile is private. Maybe it's Hydro, is my guess.
Oh, yeah. So we've got Spitter, Jockey, Boomer, Hunter for the next attack. It looks like they're setting up in this room. 5MO just baiting this attack out. They know it's coming. Hunter, yeah, it looks like he's going in for that wee wall kick.
Wall kick is going to land, though. They are going to be able to drop the spin on top of that. That's a good boom layer landing as well. Jockey Flex actually going to take Nick forward. That's a ton of damage from that 2-2 setup. Really nicely set on to the survivors. I like the patience from the SI and the fact that they elected to hit right in the room there instead of waiting for the ledge like most teams elect to do. So good decision making so far.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage from that attack. They did that attack perfectly. That's really what you need.
Yeah, they haven't had a ton of damage potential on their first 2 hits of the map, but they've managed to make a lot work with it, which is pretty good. We do have this other hit coming in here, though. There is a charge landing. This is the Hunter is
That's a
just
tri-cap.
landing. That's just complete death onto Team 5MO. They kind of dropped the ball on this. They're almost wiped off of that tri-cap. The pistol guy has to go around and clear everybody. Both guns got caught by the SI, and then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, Hunter lands in the spit for a ton of damage and causes the panic. Charger lands to cover that, and the smoker way in the back, and all of a sudden that's the entirety of 5MO's health gone pre-tank.
Yeah, it looks like Lost in the Sauce are coming into this synced up and ready to play. Definitely, we're going to have a game on our hands.
Yeah, that was definitely. I don't know what really happens in 5MO. They just kind of, I guess their positioning just got cut off for 1 second, and then the SI were like, "Hey guys, are you ready to hit? They're kind of fucked up here," and then they just went and destroyed their entire health. Have you? No, folks?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just having a bit of internet issues connecting to the server at the moment.
Okay, no worries.
Happens every so often in Left 4 Dead.
We do have a tri-boom going on inside this elevator, and we're going to be interested to see if they actually like to hit in there or just wait for the survivors to come out. They are going to try to hit in the elevator. Hunter's Gate going out there. There's a double charge landing inside the elevator. Jockey's going to actually take Alice outside the elevator as well and get some decent. But these survivors are in really, really rough shape for fighting this tank. They're going to be 2 bleeding out and 2 survivors slow if they do not pop those last 2 sets of pills that they have. So I think that they're in a position where they should probably just honestly push the tank for points at this point. I do not see them really killing this off.
You see a lot of Asian teams doing that, just pushing straight past the tank, going for the points. But if I was this tank, I would be in a really confident position to get a wipe for my team.
Yeah, I think tank up in the hands of Presto is just kind of in goalie mode, and he's just going to not let them through. But I think the survivors might be looking to maybe run through the fire once the tank goes into the commit on this cafeteria kitchen thing. It's a kitchen. It's like, yeah. It's like a...
Yeah, it's a kitchen. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, my kitchen is so small that I see a room this big. It's like, there's no way I can be a kitchen. Looks like tank up in the hands of Presto is looking to go in pretty quickly here. He wants a tri-cap for this commit just to guarantee this wipe potential. Tank is now going to go in here. Survivors aren't able to push past them. They are going to actually look for the kill on this tank. Tank taking a lot of damage. Is finally able to get the corner out onto Ellis. That will... Hunter is going to take the smoker's target forward. That's going to be a clear, but this is actually potentially going to be a dead tank. The support weren't really able to get in with the proper synchronization. With that being said, Treasure is going to get the in-cap. If the tank can just get Rochelle, this actually will still turn into a wipe somehow. So very nicely done by the SI. Kind of making something out of what seems to be like a potential shutdown on the tank. I think the tank didn't get his corner quite as quickly as he was intending, but the support in the front were able to distract enough and get the... Even though they didn't land like a tri-cap or anything, they got what they needed to prevent the tank from taking tons of damage during his commit. And that will be a wipe onto Team 5MO for the first map.
It was a great start for them. That was exactly what they needed, getting a wipe on this tank for the Lost in the Sauce. There's a lot of chatter in chat at the moment saying that Wasad is Sir. There's a bit of a rumour going around at the moment. Has the man came out of retirement to play for Sue's team?
This is an interesting conspiracy.
Yeah, definitely.
Sir does appear to not be online on... and even though he was just very recently. This is interesting. I don't know how to call it. Is he Hiro? Is he Sir? Is he Sir Dro?
Let's see, he's using the double pistols at the moment. You can tell, Sir, he fires very quickly with the double pistols.
Oh yeah. That's what he's probably most well known for in the community. I think is his trigger finger on the double pistols. I'm just gonna call him Mysterious Man Waz until we are able to have our internet sleuths verify exactly what his identity is.
A strong bait coming out, Lost in the Sauce. Only one boomed and a punch from the Charger. Smoker still up. Going to get a pull but shut down before you can really do any damage. It's a nice take from Lost in the Sauce. Well
Yeah,
baited there.
yeah, pretty much no damage coming out of that. Kind of more or less what you expect if they're so spit, but still just good that they're confirming that, you know, they're not taking unnecessary damage so far that they don't have to. They're going to have the more challenging hits coming up here pretty soon, though. And interested to see if they do have a charger for this area. I'm interested to see if they do attempt to go for a massive play on a death charge, or if they're just going to take the almost guaranteed damage with the spin. It looks like the charger is set up in this fire closet. It's a really interesting spawn that I have not seen in a very, very long time.
Yeah, I'm a bit hyped. I hope they go for the discharge. I don't know if we've seen one this tournament yet.
That is going to be double, or not double, still a single charge landing and a hunter as well in that spit. That is going to be a lot of damage out onto Mysterious Man Waz there. And it's on top of that, a quad proxy boom landing. So not massive amounts of damage, but everything did land there from Team 5MO. So they are just the fact that they're able to land all their SI consistently on their away server is a good sign. And they are going to be pretty slow going through there. They did not get the fire doors, so the survivors are able to just run straight through this entire choke point.
Yeah, it's Dead Center 101. Always get the fire doors.
Yeah, they got the one fire door there very last minute, and 3 survivors had to walk through. But this jockey of the spit is going to completely undo any progress that they've made there. That's going to be a ton of damage out onto Rochelle, and a pretty decent amount onto Coach as well. So, nicely done by Team 5MO. Even though they missed out on the fire door opportunity, they did actually force the survivors to run through the one fire, and then the jock and spit just kind of destroyed a lot of their health. So, good recovery on their part.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to restart my until the end of this game or whenever I can. Don't want to hold anyone up.
Yeah, no worries, man. You do what you got to do.
I think it's just a DNS issue. It always happens in Left 4 Dead. So attack coming in, it's Hunter, Charger, Boomer, Smoker. Not the best for this area. You really want that spitter in at the moment just to get their health bonus down before the tank. They're sitting in a nice position soon, 100 health.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if the survivors elect to take it in that same kitchen that Team 5MO did, or if they're going to try to play it maybe a little bit safe. It is hard to get visibility in that kitchen, but there is a lot of damage potential in this back corner here because by the elevator, because it's basically at least one guaranteed corner for the tank. Pull going out here is not going to get the target that it clearly wanted, and it's going to get Coach, but the Charger and Spinner are going to land. That is potentially going to be a down out onto Rochelle, as Waz losing almost all of his health, and that actually will be an in-cap. They are going to have to get him up right now before this tank is able to move in on it. They will do that, but that's still a lot of damage, probably more damage than they were hoping to take on their home server. Tank up now in the hands of Mr. Chinese characters. I don't know, Chad. I was hoping that I'd be able to say something different. Man, this Boomer Stumble's gonna get a nice stumble onto Sheep into the fire for a little couple ticks of damage. This one movement is actually gonna be the tank commit. Tank going in now is already down to about 50% HP, but he's got the corner out. That's gonna be a corner out to So, but he's able to get out of that. Tank just spreading the damage now, whiffing one punch onto So. Hunter is actually landing on to Coach there for a lot of damage. Tank finally gets his end cap, but that's gonna be, unless he lands a curve rock right here, it's gonna be pretty much all she wrote for the tank. Getting that one in cap, spreading the damage pretty solidly, but not able to quite get a wipe scenario.
That's a good tank. That's a lot of damage out to Lost in the Sauce. He managed to catch Sue, catch another player also. I think it was Bresto he got. It was a really decent tank for that area. It's a shame if his support came in, landed a little bit better. That could have been a wipe.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting decision to just go in with that one boom. I guess they just thought, okay, we're gonna at least for sure get a guaranteed in cap, maybe 2 here, and so let's just go for that play with the one boom instead of trusting that we're going to be landing on 200 to 230 ping. Do we have a one boom proxy going out onto Coach here? Jockey's looking for something, isn't able to land, but he does finally latch onto Ellis for a little bit of damage. Smoker doesn't have much opportunity to get anything off that, though. This will probably be the survivors walking into the safe room with roughly a 220 health bonus, which is not horrible, but maybe not quite as much as they might have wanted on their home server on map 1.
I'd be happy with that if I was walking in with that, especially coming off a wipe. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, it's not half bad. For sure, definitely about a 301 point lead. I say about it is exactly a 301 point lead going into map 2 for Lost in the Sauce home server. Yeah, overall, I think pretty solid survivor play from Lost in the Sauce. I think that there was maybe a couple of hits where they took a maybe like I mean, Team 5MO, they were just really consistent. They landed all of their charge bits every single time that they had an opportunity to do. So I think maybe Lost in the Sauce is looking to not eat as many of that. They're probably looking to just tighten up on their shutdowns a little bit more because they're all very, very solid survivor players. So looking forward to seeing them take on a much more open map like this, where they'll have more opportunity to demonstrate their positioning.
Well, definitely. This is a bit of a slog of a map. If you get damage dealt to you early on, you're not going to make it to the end. So they really have to play smart at the start, at least. Get up to the event without using your pills, at least around about there.
Fully agree, and I think this is probably one of the easiest maps if you're able to stay fast through the majority of it. But if you eat an unnecessary spit charge in a staircase and all of a sudden you're slow and bleeding out, it becomes very, very difficult and you're taking every single
Right, I'm going to leave you there, K3, and restart my internet. I just keep having issues, so I'll be back in about 5 minutes, okay?
Godspeed, Nofos.
Thank you, thank you.
It was actually a really, really solid hit coming out from the SI there. Charger landed, but did not get the slam, but it allowed enough time for the Hunter and the Smoker to land a nice 2-cap there, as well as a 3-boom going out. So that's actually great damage and fantastic spread onto the survivors for this first. It was almost a tri-cap landing, actually, but the clears just weren't quite there for Team Lost in the Sauce. Now leading up into the staircase hit, interested to see if they will have that charge spin. They will have the setup for lots of damage in the staircase if they elect to go here. It looks like they are set up for it, hoping that Team Lost in the Sauce just takes this really slowly, baits it out, plays to the proper pace. Tank will be up at 43%, which is probably going to be... might be the last hit of this pre-tank part of the survivors are holding S all the way up the staircase. This is the right call, and they will shut down the Hunter. Spit has to go down on nothing. And sometimes that's what you got to do. If you're in a small room like this where it's hard for the SI to navigate with speed, you just run away from them and go up the stairs, and there's not a whole lot that they can do. So nice play by them, and they're going to be walking out of that with taking 0 damage after the pretty difficult first hit that they took. Do have a 1 move going out in the back here. Not sure if the rest of the SI are kind of in a good spot where they want to set up on this and just attack them now, because the survivors are just putting up a wall of death with these shotguns here at the front. Smokers is looking for maybe some kind of pull forward into a charge spit. Charger is going to go down here. He is actually going to land onto Coach there. Isn't going to take him further away. I think it's actually good that he just kind of got body blocked by So for the special effective there, because if he got taken further back, the spit wouldn't have been able to reach him. But instead, they just land the charge spit once again. That's going to be great damage out onto Coach. And it looks like the tank here is going to be rolling in pretty soon. I'm interested to see if the survivors decide to take it here on this side by these stairs, or underneath the overpass, or if they elect to take it back by the tree on the other side of the dumpster. Looks like the survivors are set up to just take it here. I guess they probably want to... Actually, somehow, that's kind of a boom that you shouldn't be letting land from that far. Interested to see if the tank will decide to roll in on this. He's got the survivors in a pretty decent position for a commit. He is going to go in on this. That's an early pull going out onto Nick, who does get punched very, very... Is he going to keep going after him? He is. He actually gets early pulled again into him. I'm not so sure about this commit, but they are going to make it work, it seems like. Charger is dead. That's all the support dead so far for the tank, but they're just running away from the tank now. Tank has absolutely nothing. He has to go to this car and look for some kind of play. He is going to go for this car and try to bump punch it, but it's not going to land. Is in now a very bad position. SI support needs to help him out right now, or else the tank is just going to get absolutely melted. Car attempting to land out onto Waz there, and is not going to is going to connect very, very last second though. but pretty solid overall tank fights from Team Lost in the Sauce. After that early pull and the one boom, it looked like they were going to be put in a very compromised position. But it was an interesting call by the tank to just keep pushing Nick further and further away instead of trying to maybe get a car hit onto him after that early pull. So I'm not sure if I completely agree with his tunnel vision on Nick so hard there. I think there's potentially a better way to play that, but regardless, very well, nicely done by Lost in Sauce, only taking one in cap off that. Granted, that's not, one in cap is not horrible damage there for an open area tank like that, but I think 5MO with their caliber of special infected play, I think that they may have been capable of a little bit more.
Looks like they had a good tank fight. I'm sad I missed it there. Now that should be my problem solved.
Good, I'm glad to hear it. We have a silent jockey coming in from the bottom, getting a scratch and a bit of damage out onto Coach. Spitter is not in position to land on that charger, though. And we do have a pause coming out for deck. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, the Spitter crashed when he spawned, and so wasn't able to land the charge spit. That's going to be the first, or I guess one of the first times the charge spit has not landed this game due to the crash.
Oh, you can't really blame the player for that at all. It just happens in Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
It's the shame. Shame.
So what's the weather like in Scotland right now?
It's really warm.
Yeah?
Super warm. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm sitting here half naked and everything, trying to survive. I'm not used to it.
Only half? Come
Only
on,
half
man.
naked,
Get with the picture, dude. So show some support for the boys.
Right, okay.
Get low balling for the lads is what I like to call it.
Definitely, right. Okay, the next pause, I'll get fully naked. Right.
Okay, cool. Good, yes. Be sure to turn your camera on too so we can all get a look at the goods.
That's a two boom. That's a nice two boom. Jockey landing. Hunter just jumping around. Not landed yet, so gets a nice ski on him.
Yeah,
a little bit of damage coming in. That's nice. That's kind of what you want to see.
Yeah, the clears for Team Lost in the Sauce are maybe not as fast as I'm used to seeing from them. But yeah, that Hunter just not being quite able to land there. I think Hunter might actually be potentially the most difficult SI to land if you're on high ping, just because it's so high variance and you're trying to jump around everywhere. Whereas Charger, it may seem difficult, but you kind of just click and pray.
That's basically how I do it in normal ping, to be honest. Like, there's no real difference. Just slam M1 until I can't press M1 anymore.
And sometimes that's what you got to do. Reloading. Do have a pretty solid setup for this staircase hit. Interested to see if they will send the damage bonus up to maybe take the brunt of the damage, or if they are going to maybe all go up to try to jump over this fence here and get out of harm's way, because the charge spit landing in this little corridor staircase could result in a ton of damage.
You see this in Lost in the Sauce a lot. Sue is always baiting. I think he's really on form this tournament. Last game I watched him in, he was definitely the MVP of the match.
Yeah, Sue, very much a strong first position player, able to make the baits, and then has the ability to shut down the SI to back it up as well. Is actually going to get pulled forward here, but the Charger's actually going to miss on top of that. That being said, that's still a ton of damage, so able to get out of the spit without too much happening to him, but the stumble and the spit onto Sheep was a lot of damage there. So very nicely done by the SI. Managed to get a lot of damage out of that. It was just slightly unfortunate that the Charger missed out onto Sue. He kind of had a free opportunity for some extra spit damage.
Looked a bit like a chest bump to me.
The survivors have acquired the desired liquids from the Save for Less, and it looks like they are going to be holding out one hit in here. Nice shutdown onto Kalank's Boomer by Presto there. The Boomer Popper extraordinaire himself, and now looking to possibly hold out. Yeah, looks like they are going to just save for possibly a quad cap attempt if they manage to get a smoker in their rotation. And yeah, Survivor's just holding out inside to save for less, waiting for a hit to go in so that they can run over and put this Cola away. Notable that the SI have not scratched down the shopping cart, so that shortcut's still open to them if they want it.
I think 5MO are doing the smart thing here. They really have to you know, do a lot of damage to stop the Lost in the Sauce walking in with quite a healthy bonus at the moment, sitting just shy of 400 points.
Yeah, that's pretty solid for this map, honestly. I mean, maybe not quite as monstrous as you can see come from some Survivor rounds, but considering where the tank spawned, I think this is a pretty decent bonus. Especially, I think Presto is definitely public enemy #1 right now. They need to get some of his health down. He's still sitting at 92 HP.
Oh, definitely.
Survivors have successfully held out the rest of the Horde.
Looks like Lost in the Sauce know exactly what's going to happen here. So chipping away that Charger before he can comes in. Jockey coming, gets him to Charger misses, Spitter shut down. That's a really nice take again.
Yeah, a really great initiation ski onto the wall kick hunter by Sheep. The Sheep ski coming out, and yeah, once that first SI gets just completely shut down by the Survivors, it's kind of difficult for the SI to figure out, okay, so there's only so much we can do with this hit, so what are we going to kind of do now? We do have So sitting at 1 HP. Looks like, I'm guessing they're probably just going to down him in this open area and pick him up again.
Maybe the smart play. Definitely the smart play. I think they're going to just wait until they get into the actual open area. Yeah, as you said, with the road.
And we're just going to miss this bunny hop and get shut down there. Possibly a sack for a stronger setup for their what could be potentially their last hit of the map, unless Team Lost in the Sauce takes a lot of damage and goes even more slow. It will not be their last hit of the map unless they down Sue, though. They kind of need to do that fairly. Do you have a walkie going out in that bush on to Sheep there? Is going to be in that spit for a while. Jockey gets him up a little bit faster, though. I don't think that was probably the best target he could have done. But they're still going to just make Sue just limp at 1 HP here all the way to the end of the map. So they will definitely have at least one more hit off of that.
Well, I think Lost in the Sauce can take this slowly. They're shutting down all the attacks when they bait it out. They are playing smart, so they definitely can walk into the safe room. They don't have to rush.
Do you have a Hunter getting nicest ski there by the Uzi of Presto? Boomer getting shut down, and yeah, as you said, that's another complete shutdown. So maybe what they're doing is right. Just leaving this guy up with 1 HP to limp away, and they've still got just solid positioning and have been completely eliminating these hits. Presto still sitting at 92 HP since that event, has not taken a single point of damage. So yeah, nicely done by him to just maintain that health bonus very, very well.
Now will Sue get scratched down before he makes it in?
No, I mean, yeah.
Oh, and the Charger downs Nick, downs Waxad.
Yeah, it should be worth saying, though, that because the two survivors that were bleeding were so low on health, then the ability of the SI to take off their damage bonus is almost no. Because by the time that they are able to get any damage on those survivors carrying the damage bonus, it's like they just get incapped instantly, and so all of a sudden they can't take down that bonus anymore. So maybe that's part of the call to leave Sue at 1 HP is because he's literally worth no points if he gets incapped, and so it's just basically free distance without any risk of losing bonus. And then all they have to do is protect Presto, and clearly he was more than capable of protecting himself. Really nicely done by their survivor round.
Really smart play, yeah, definitely. And I'm excited to see what 5MO can do here. This is a real testing map. So long. Can they mirror basically what Lost in the Sauce can do? That's a real question. Plus, I would like to see the tank.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm interested to see if the tank will maybe elect to go for those hittable. Soul coming in with the clutch. You lose DB if you get ink. I mean, I know that you lose some, but I think that you would lose more if, say, if you were like, you know, you get picked up and all of a sudden you have 30 temp health, and then Spitter lands on top of you and you lose all of that. So I think that, but granted, you do lose damage bonus if you get incapped from 1 HP. So Soul coming in clutch with the information. I mean, as I said last night, I'm clearly not the #1 knowledge Left 4 Dead 2 knowledge base in the community, so I've got lots I can still learn.
Oh, me neither. They've changed the config so much since I started playing. I have no clue what goes on anymore.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure things out on the fly, if I'm being honest.
So we have a Spitter, Smoker, Charger, Jockey, and it looks like they're electing to go outside.
Interesting call here, or they might decide to wait. Actually, they're gonna try to go in right now. Bolt is charged spit is gonna land here. That Jockey's not getting cleared. That's gonna be a charge spit landing onto deck for a ton of damage. Spitter holding in deck into the spit for a little bit longer as well. That's actually a really good call by them. I think getting that pull charge spit on the final guy to go inside, definitely not what the survivors were expecting at all, and it paid off really well.
Oh, definitely. Really nice charger spit.
That's going to be pretty solid pre-tank chip coming out from Team Lost in the Sauce so far. They are looking to maybe drop one more solid hit on them before they're able to position themselves for the... Do you have a Hunter pre-spawn up top looking for some kind of wall kick? Boomer's going to maybe look for a free boom off of this top arc. Jockey is spawned up in the back. Hunter is going to go in, is not getting shut down. That is finally a shutdown onto the Hunter, and the Charger gets instantly cleared off. So pretty solid take there by the survivors, not taking much more than a bit of Jockey chip onto Rochelle, who has now gone slow.
Oh yeah, really strong take there from 5MO. That was really fast Charger clear. I'm not sure exactly who did it. I think it was possibly Kayomi. Oh, the Smoker catches Kayomi at the back.
They're having trouble clearing this. This is actually a ton of damage. This could just turn into a really, really bad situation. This is good. Kiyomi is just going to go down here. This is a big misplay on Team 5MO. Getting caught completely off guard, and that's a total incap onto Kiyomi, losing all of his health. Was that a bot smoker? Are you serious? Is like okay? Okay, he pulled before, but yeah, bot smoker MVP getting a ton of damage out onto Kiyomi. So Smoker technically up in the hands of Waz, getting a really, really clutch play there. Now the survivors are forced to take the tank over here where this is going to be hittable, so they do not have the option of taking it forward. It seemed like they intended to originally. So really great heads-up play by Waz there, who is maybe Hydro, maybe Sir, we're unsure, but he's got the tank now.
Tank just elected to play long at the moment. The survivors are bleeding out. Their deck might have to use those pills before the tank commits. Well, definitely is going to use those pills when the tank commits.
Yeah, we might just see an old school rock tank. Maybe if they do manage to keep him on first pass, he might just elect to, hey, you know, I'll just play rock for the entirety of this tank fight if I'm going to get damaged. But it looks like no, we are going to see the Hunter going in here. Is going to get actually picked really early by the Uzis of Team 5MO. That's really solid play by them. Hunter maybe going in a little bit early. Now Tank's going to have to make a play here with this car, and it's not working out for him. No hittable luck happening so far. There is a pull going on to Nick that may be an opportunity, but no, the survivors from Team 5MO are just going to kite really nicely around here. This could just turn into a dead tank unless the SI do something right now. Oh, Alice. Yeah, Tank now has nothing. He's got no hittables, and all the SI just got completely shut down. I think there might have been some miscommunication between the Hunter and the tank. Hunter just getting skeeted before the tank was able to really get in there when he wanted to commit. And then Tank was just out of position and wasn't able to make his hittables work. And it's just such an open area to get those easy shutdowns on the last of the SI. And that's going to be a really good take on the tank fight by Team 5MO.
See, I just don't think that Hunter really expected to get skeeted that fast from 5MO there. The tank has went AI with 18 health left. Will he do anything? No.
I mean, he did something. He instantly died.
Yeah.
Good. So there is kind of a bit of pressure now on Team Lost in the Sauce to get some good damage, because Team 5MO currently sitting at 656. You do not want to let a team like 5MO walk into the safe room on their away server where they all have more than 200 ping. That that would be a rough look for them.
Oh, definitely. This is the point where Lost in the Sauce have to make every single attack land, make it all count.
Hunter's looking for something. They kind of focus. There's a tri-cap land. That's going to be a ton of damage out onto Nick, who is, if he goes down in the split, he's going to be black and white. So that's going to be Nick going black and white, who's going to be a very big target for these next hits, and he's going to have to take pills. So really clutch tri-cap landing there on this top ledge, and that will be a huge chunk of their damage bonus actually getting depleted there.
Reloading. Gotta reload.
So do you think that 5MO is going to hold out the event, or just go gung-ho and try to just get the call in as fast as possible?
Well, they're definitely sitting in a better bonus at the moment. I would, if I was them, I would hold out the event, definitely. I would start playing slow, tactical, just what Lost in the Sauce did. Make sure that Lost in the Sauce don't have any opportunity to make a crazy attack like they did just before the attack, catching that guy in the back with that smoker. That really shouldn't be happening at all. That was just a bit chaotic from them.
Yeah, their position was just not quite where they wanted to be, and just a slight oversight like that can just turn into a huge amount. So even though the tank didn't go exactly Lost in the Sauce's way, they still came out of it with definitely passable damage so far, and definitely they put themselves in a position where if they landed 1 or 2 more solid hits, then they can maintain their lead.
Yeah, a bit of a shame. Hunter really nicely skated. Charger missing, but the smoker lands for quite a lot of damage. Onto the health bonus. He's going down.
Suck and spit. Yeah, that didn't seem like it was going to be a lot of damage once that Hunter got shut down and the Charger missed, but the Horde combined with the Smoker and Spit combination just completely did a number on Coach. They will be getting the Cola. Looks like they are set up to maybe try to go out to the open area to take a hit before they elect to put the Cola in. And apparently there are 3 separate tournament matches live at this point, which is it's got to be a record for the tournament.
Oh yeah, you never see this at Left 4 Dead. This is really impressive.
So for all of you who are tuning into specifically our match, we thank you, because we're clearly the best cast right now. And this is a nice tri-boom landing out onto the Survivors. Coach taking a bit of a dance to the spit, losing about 100 points of damage bonus there. And they're going to have to go get this Cola now into the into Whitaker's hands, because they're taking a lot of damage on all these hits.
The Cola not cooperating. Rochelle's trying to throw up, and she manages it. Oh, that was close. That Charger nearly caught the Chinese letter guy. I'm not even sure if that's Chinese letters, to be honest. Like, I don't want to seem so ignorant.
It's definitely Chinese. It's not Japanese, because they're from Taiwan.
Okay, okay.
But actually, even though the Charger did not land, that Charger was more than worth it, because he was able to get Ellis off the top there, because he was the health bonus. He did not want to risk losing all of that HP, and the Survivors still have to go back up and drop the Cola at some point.
This is what I said that 5MO should not be doing, is playing chaotic, and it looks like they tried that a little bit, getting that Cola.
Ellis still unable to drop the Cola, and that's going to be a separation landing onto Rochelle on the top. That's a ton of damage going on to the deck. Their damage bonus has now been completely depleted, and now Ellis sitting with the only remaining health on their team. That's going to be an in-cap out onto deck. So Ellis, that's his 3rd attempt to drop the Cola, and it's still just not cooperating. Coach going to finally say, okay, you know what? Fine, I'll do it myself. And he will drop the Cola in on his own terms, because Chinese character man was unable to do so on multiple attempts. That will be a nice 1-boom going out there. Probably just a sack for a stronger setup once the SI are ready. Charger looking for a spawn behind this truck, but you cannot spawn behind that truck because for some reason the Survivors can just see through it.
This is always one of my most hated parts of this map. You just cannot find spawns at all, or you have to come from the roof like really far away.
This is true.
It's hard.
That being said, having 3 survivors slow and very, very close to being in cap is a big help. So the survivors are going to take it very slowly and be bleeding out until the SI are able to find their proper spawn. We do have this hit coming in here. This is going to be pulling out onto Nick. He's going to actually get pulled and just completely killed. It's going to be one of their bonus multipliers completely eradicated instantly. Now the bonus is only sitting at 84 points. So great heads at play, getting the pull onto the black and white guy and just saying, okay, let's just confirm this kill. Because that's probably all we can really hope for in this open area. So still managing to make something work out of this spot. Coach also, who was apparently like, this is just a wipe. It's just out of nowhere. Survivors were,
yeah.
The survivors were just 1 HP. Yeah, they were just so slow, and they weren't able to get to the safe room in time when Coach got scratched down, and Rochelle got wall kicked in the side of the safe room. And then, yeah, that's just going to be a wipe onto the survivors. So very nicely done by Team Lost in the Sauce. We'll have a 633-point lead going into map 3 of their home server, which is maybe not huge. They might have been hoping for a slightly bigger bonus on their map 2, but this is definitely, you know, it's passable, and they've got an opportunity to make up a ton of points right now.
See, if I was in Lost in the Saucy shoes, I would be happy with this score, but definitely, like, even still in 5MO shoes, I'd just be saying, we're going to go to our server, we're going to play better than them, and we're going to take this game. So
yeah,
I would still say it's anyone's game at the moment, even with that kind of point difference.
For sure. I think Lost in the Sauce is probably relatively happy with the score, but they're not comfortable yet. They need a really solid map 3 right now if they want to get into like a comfort zone. We're like, okay, now we've got the kind of lead that we know that we wanted to get on our home server to give ourselves the best chance possible.
I think 5MO are just electing to try and get the possibly a spitter or a quad.
Do believe it'll probably be a spitter next on the rotation.
Yeah.
But they actually do get the quad. They are going to elect to go in here. That's going to be an attempted separation charge onto Rochelle, which is going to... Hunter looking for something here is going to get completely shut down. His pull is the only thing that's going to land from this hit, other than a couple punches out onto Rochelle. So that's a little bit of chip damage coming out from that, but maybe not quite what they're looking for. Now the survivors have only taken 1 hit, and they're already all the way to the second escalator, and they're just rolling.
So, K3 looked up in Google Translate the Chinese letterman's name. It comes through as Hoshino Comet. So we can maybe get away from by calling him Comet.
Comet? I like it. Actually,
yeah.
Honestly, that's a baller name. That's sweet. It's kind of like a dog name, but you know, who am I to judge on that?
Yeah, you could call a dog Comet. Yeah, okay, I see that.
How about a couple dogs named Comet?
Hunter Spitter, Boomer Jockey, not the best setup at all. Hunter goes in, jumping around, gets skated easily. Jockey going for Coach in the back, gets M2 and shut down. Boomer landing on 1 though. Spitter completely missing.
Yeah, really solid takeaway.
Yeah.
So I've had an ongoing debate about this. Do you think that this is the #1 most survivor-sided map in Left 4 Dead 2? Because some people might think that it would be.
I think it kind of is, but it depends. A lot can go wrong in this map. A lot can go wrong, especially with the event. If you get one off the edge during the event,
or you get tri-capped inside a tiny little staircase, and all of a sudden the tank is spawned. And the survivors are in bad position. They have to run back right now. That was a really solid hit. They were so close to getting quad capped in that little staircase there. That would have been absolute disaster, but that's still a ton of damage. Definitely maybe not quite as survivor sided as you thought. You know, like, I think in theory it's super survivor sided if you're able to get shutdowns in these hallways, but as you said, so much can go wrong so fast, and now the survivors are running the tank back. I'm interested to see if they actually elect to send the tank AI by running back to safe room, or if they're just going to take it underneath here in the cafeteria.
Does look like they're taking it back here. They're making sure the tank cannot get any hits in at all.
There is going to be all this straggling horde, though.
I'm reloading.
I think tank should go in now. He's still got a bit of horde going to be coming in from that delayed 1 boom. Smoker looking for an early pull. Is going to get instantly cleared and shut down, though. This is going to be really rough for the tank now. Charger's looking for some kind of sticky spot on the back. Is going to find it, but this Hunter is just going to get completely shut down, and Charger has no hope. And now this is just a dead tank. Tank has no hope of catching the survivors here. And he's going to look for some kind of rock, but this is just a complete shutdown onto the tank fight. And tank up in the hands of Envy Veteran Deck, and that will be a no-hitter from him coming out. Just a complete and total shutdown onto the...
As you said, the survivor-sided map, definitely correct in that instance there, but the survivors have to know what to do, and they, Lost in the Sauce, played that perfectly. Didn't get caught running backwards, they knew exactly where to escape to, they shut down everything as it came in. Really well taken from them.
Yeah, now they're sitting at a monstrous 926 health bonus with about 30% of the map still left to, or 50% of the map still left to go. So I think they can just play the rest of this map super slowly, you know, hold out hits during the events and just have a really good shot at making a ton of points.
Again, Lost in the Sauce eating damage on that staircase. Something with stairs with them. They just don't do well with.
Yeah, I suppose not, but thankfully there was no spitter able to capitalize off of the chart. It looks like because the hit's down, the survivors are going to push up to the second floor. Probably going to just hold out a hit on the second floor here so that they don't have to walk into the choke point is what my guess would be. And it looks like, yeah, that's going to be exactly what they're going to be doing. Do not want to walk headfirst into the escalator with a hit up, so they're going to be waiting out the horde here as long as they need.
Definitely the right choice.
That is a very, very long boom there, landing out onto Ella's. Just not going to really do a whole lot, though. I think it's probably just a sack so that they can have what they want for the choke point. Interested to see if the SI are just going to say, okay, we need big damage. We're going to wait until they go up this choke point, regardless of how long it takes to wait, or if they will like to just throw as many hits as possible.
Well, I think if I was in 5MO's shoes, I would be thinking about trying to get not a wipe, but try to kill one on these stairs. You can do a lot of insta potential here, and they need to land something like that. They're not going to be able to land anything close to a tri-cap in this area. They'll get shut down before it even gets close to getting close to the survivors. So yeah, I would definitely go for the instas.
Yeah, for sure. But it looks like they're going to completely disagree with our decision there. Hunter's going to land with a bit of spit damage, but the Charger got completely shut down. Jockey had nothing. And that's going to be only a little bit of chip damage coming up from that hit. So survivors are now just going to be able to run straight through the... Looked like they were maybe not quite as patient as we were expecting, and they just decided, you know what, let's just keep hitting them. And it was... But the thing is that they waited for that long, and the survivors were able to hold up so much of the horde before they threw that hit in. So maybe they just weren't quite sure what they wanted to do.
There's another level of confidence though. If you think you can land a tri-cap, quad cap in those kind of areas, yeah, go for it. If you are successful, it's massive. Proxy boom getting four of them, but no any other damage from that affected there. They did really well to shut down.
Jockey landing for a little bit of health onto Sheep. But yeah, survivors have taken 0 incap, so the damage bonus still entirely intact here. And still sitting at about 700 bonus, with only 1 or 2 hits left on the map. Probably 2 if they're able to get a charge spit landing here. The patented 5MO charge spit looking to land once again in this one of the last decent choke points left in the map. Hunter looking for a very sticky wall kick out in the dark here, in this little tiny corner. SI and Survivors both playing very, very patient, but the Survivors are going to go forward here. That's going to be a wall kick out onto Nick. Charger looking for something on top of that. It's going to stumble Nick into the spit for a little bit. That's going to be decent damage there coming out onto Nick and Rochelle. So about 100 points off the bonus of Lost in the Sauce there. So not terrible from the SI.
Oh, definitely not. They're still going to be walking into the safe room with quite a large bonus though. This is not what you want to see if I was in 5MO shoes. I'd want to do a lot more damage to them, especially that no-hitter tank coming in. Yeah, I would be a little bit sad in my performance in that round.
Smoker's
Nice.
looking for pull off.
Reloading.
I do not believe you can actually pull over the edge of that escalator, so nothing quite doing there. And that's going to be another just pretty much total shutdown onto that hint. Pretty much all standing between the survivors and their 627 health bonus is a random ass charger looking for maybe a charge off the edge. Charger is just going to get completely melted by the Uzis of Team Lost in the Sauce, and will just be them walking into the safe room, I think. Ella's actually going to stand out there looking for the ski. He's going to get the ski out on to the Hunter, but at what cost? As he did have to take a bit of a dance to the spit. I think he didn't need to sit out there, but hey, he got the frags, so clearly he proved me wrong.
Well, I think it's one of those decisions there. If he tried to rush into the safe room, got caught by that Hunter, he would have been in the spit. So it's probably best to just go for the ski. Also, you always want MVP, so good way to pad your stats.
Yeah, when you have an audience watching, you're like, you know what? I think it does more for my long-term Left 4 Dead 2 career if I get a clutch ski here in front of a bunch of people. It's like, you know, potentially there's some future teammates looking, and, you know, I'm trying to get my name out there in a big way, and not that Shape needs to get his name even further out there. He's already a pretty well-established name in the community, I think, at this point. We have a triple proxy boom going on to the survivors. The charger's not going to land on top of that. There is a couple punches landing from the charger, so pretty decent damage here. Just in. Where did that boomer come from?
I think it just spawned around the corner and just hopped in. Didn't really do any kind of hops, but it was definitely a close proxy boomer there. Yeah. But yeah, that charger should not have got away with that damage there. That's good damage even before they got 1 foot out the safe room. They were already attacked. Got a Spitter, Boomer, Jockey, Hunter for the next attack.
Yeah, Team Lost in the Sauce definitely looking to get a lot of pre-tank chip onto the survivors because they saw what can hypothetically happen to their tank if they are not, and so they want to get as much as they can so that because they know that, you know, our tank is not going to be guaranteed damage whatsoever. Survivors are going to take this choke point. This boomer is going to get a nice one boom out onto Rochelle, who is fairly separated. Aside looking for something, and this jockey is having a lot of trouble landing, though. Is going to latch onto Coach for a little bit of damage. He was actually not getting cleared. The jockey was on Coach for way too long. Ellis looked for the M2 and just wasn't able to get it. He gets wall kicked and spit for what seemed like it was going to be, and probably should have been a 0 damage hit. Just turned into a ton of damage out of nowhere.
I'm really surprised that jockey didn't get cleared quicker there. I was looking for the Hunter. The Hunter just came in last second, got that dual cap in, but at that point the other survivors were coming in to clear.
Yeah, those little tiny mistakes, though, that I think 5MO shouldn't be making. It's like that jockey was at such low health and definitely can't be latching onto a survivor for that. Do have a really strong hit coming out here. Charger's going to charge him very far away. He's in a bad position, but Nick with a very clutch clear coming from the top of the Esker. So not turning into too much damage. This jockey's going to get a decent amount, though. This is just... It wasn't massive damage, but it's just complete disorganization from Team 5MO, it looks like.
Yeah, against a team like Lost in the Sauce, they're going to capitalize every time you make a mistake. Every time you're out of position, they're going to abuse you for being there. You can't be making that mistake against a team like that. Too experienced, and I think a lot of these players in Lost in the Sauce have been playing together for a very long time, so they have that sync kind of mentality with each other.
Yeah, I'd like to see Team 5MO definitely slow it down a little bit. It looks like they are going to be doing that. Definitely play at the slower pace that we more well know them for. And Team Lost in the Sauce seems like they're ready for it, though. They set up a wall kick in this little room here with the ammo. Charger's going to look for a spawn in here. It's actually landed. This is going to be a wall kick, but the spitter missed its spawn in here, and so will not be able to land on anything, so that's unfortunate. But the boomer's going to stumble into the spit. It's a big misplay, popping the boomer on Ellis, who just took like 30 spit damage from that stumble. And now they're going to be spotting this tank with Ellis slow, and they could have completely avoided that.
That's what I'm talking about, though. You just can't be making those levels, that level of mistake in these kind of tournaments at all. It's always going to backfire and really damage your potential to win.
Yeah, for sure. And just having one survivor bleeding is going to make a pretty big difference. Our survivors are a little bit split up right now, and they are going to be going in for this hit. There's everything landing except for the jockey for some pretty sizable chip there. And now this tank is rolling in here, but there is a little bit of horde that he's rolling with. Nothing too considerable, though, so maybe not quite what he wants to commit with. Yeah, this is like 4 commons. That's just nothing, honestly. Survivor is now set up in the food court. Hell yeah.
Let's see what Sue can do with this tank. Can he get a punch? Or maybe even a rock?
Honestly, if they get one down, I think they're going to be very satisfied.
Oh, definitely. I think the 5MO are in a better position to what Lost in the Sauce were coming into this tank fight. That attack that 5MO landed in the staircase was devastating.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have the tank? Is going to have to roll in here fairly soon. He is on second pass, and he is going to go for something. Survivor's now running away from the tank. The tank's going to actually get a long arm there onto Ellis. Was caught slightly out of position, and now the SI are set up for this. This is going to be a double charge landing out onto the Survivors with the jockey cover on top of that. That's going to be a down out onto Coach, and this is still the tank with tons of HP for the second in cap. He's going to get the corner out onto Ellis, who is damage bonus, looking to spread the damage even more. Is just spreading the love between all the Survivors, doing a fantastic job. Taking the hands of Sue, just doing complete work to the Survivors as he fed MO, and they just completely fell apart there.
That special, the charger landing like that was devastating. That was really how you play this tank. Just perfect timing coming from Lost in Sauce. Absolute devastating attack.
Yeah, and I think it may have been slightly bad for Team 5MO. Because they were in a position where the Survivors are a little bit clumped up. Like, I think if you're kiting this tank, you shouldn't be in a position where you can potentially coach. And maybe what you do is you send one Survivor a little bit ahead of the rest of the kiting effort so that they are able to block the spawns and you don't have to run with 4 Survivors headfirst into all the spawns. So, but really nicely capitalized by the special infected of team, Lost in the Sauce, just getting a ton of damage, and Sue just had free range to get as many punches as he wanted after that double cap landed.
So again, 5MO behind in the health bonus, behind in the damage bonus. They have to keep this intact to stay competitive going into their away game. So let's see what they can do through this event. Do they hold it out, or do they just rush?
I think, honestly, you probably just rush because you're bleeding out so that if you try to take a hit inside here, the SI might just wait for super, super long, and then all of a sudden you're just going to bleed out for the whole duration of this. Maybe you wait until 2 Survivors are going slow, and then all of a sudden you have to take so many more hits on the rest of the event.
So it looks like Lost in Saucer are electing to attack in here. Nice little Hunter catching him in the spit.
Dude, Ellis is just still swimming in the spit. He just took like 50 damage in that spit. He could not escape for the life of him. And that's going to be now 3 Survivors slow off of that attack. And now they're going to be limping through the rest of this event. And now they're forced to go forward. They cannot hold out any more hits because clearly it did not work out in their favor when they tried to go back to that room with the pill cabinet.
That's the most frustrating thing in this game, though, when you're caught between the death spit and the normal spit. And there's a little bit of ground you think you can stand on. Yeah,
it was definitely, there's a clutch box there for the so special infected that blocked Ellis from moving forward. And now Survivors are only sitting at 96 health bonus. It's all on deck, but I think at this point, since they've SI are probably playing for a wipe, and there's 3 Survivors that pretty much 1 scratch left before they go in cap, so there's big wipe potential on this next hit here.
Yeah, I would be quite surprised to see 5MO make it through this room. That is if Lost in Sauce select to go in the room. It looks like they're going to try outside.
They're attempting to land from the bottom, but there's no hope to land a boomer. That Jockey's going to go in here, get 1 in cap, 2 in cap, so that's a pull in the 4, and that is just a wipe. That's Jockey with the 3K, almost the ace onto the Survivors. Jockey just rolling in here, scratching 3 different Survivors down with a pull in the 4 in the front onto deck, and that's going to be all she wrote for the Survivor round. Team Lost in the Sauce now with a sizable 1,417-point lead going into their 4th map here on their home server.
That really is a big lead. I would be happy with that. Definitely. This map is quite hard to play, to be honest. Again, it's one of those maps where a lot can go wrong. You have to get the rhythm and getting the cans down.
The amount of damage that you can take on, say, the 2nd floor, just attempting to get 3 cans. So, and if you make a misplay and accidentally, let some cans burn on the bottom floor, and all of a sudden you have to go back up to the 3rd floor to get 1 can. Say if you might be sitting at 600 bonus with 12 cans in the tank, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, hey, 1 can got burned. We have to go to the 3rd floor, and the guy gets death charge or something like that. All of a sudden you're in a real bad position. Really great escape there by Sheep once again out onto the Hunter, and the jockey just has no hope of really getting much here.
Don't even know what that jockey was trying to do there. Just waiting to die.
Yeah, now the Spitter's just, I guess, saving for the elevator hit on the bottom, maybe looking for a spit block or something. But yeah, just really solid shutdown on the infected by Sheep there. I guess maybe the SI maybe pulled the trigger a little bit too fast on the wall kick. Now, big tank coming up here for Team 5MO. Looking to get some kind of damage. Honestly, it's hard to get even 1 in cap here, so if you're 5MO, you're probably happy if you get 1 down off the tank.
Oh, definitely. At this point, though, you're just aiming for them not to escape in the car. That's what I would be aiming for. And no more bonus making it across the line.
Remember, showing their map knowledge, not popping the boomer through the glass and proxy booming them. Smoker's looking for something. They run to the other side of the elevator and then pop them. Nicely played on their end. Tank is now up in the hands of for Team 5MO. They need something big here. They've got 5 survivors sitting at 5 punchers right now, and a ton of bonus to their name. And so they really need to get some kind of big plays on the survivors, because I expect that the survivors are going to just be so fast for this scavenge round. There's only 4 cans on the top floor, and all the rest are pretty much on the 2nd floor, so that's a pretty fast round if they can get it quickly.
Yeah.
I like saying the go-go command in chat. There is a hit coming in here. This is actually like 4 or 5 charger punches coming out there onto WASD. So nicely played there by the SI, getting some pretty decent chip damage on that hit, but the rock was not able to land off of it.
Lost in the Sauce elected to just go to LOS mode. The tank now in 2nd pass.
Yeah, tank now going to be forced going with a hit. The boomer looking for something maybe slightly preemptive from that boomer. A little optimistic to go for that boom. Now the tank's going to have to keep sight somewhat and take some chip for his efforts in order to avoid going pop before the next hit is up. Already about 10% chip out onto this tank, and he hasn't even gotten close to committing. He's going to have to go in with this set of spawns, but he's still taking chip before he's able to drop down.
Oh, definitely not the best position to be in this tank. You need a lot of health just to even get close to the survivors.
Oh, this could be a clutch jockey out. This is a true cap landing, potentially a tri-cap. If they're able to get the tri-cap, this could turn into a wipe. This is going to be the tri-cap landing off the survivors. This is just completely turned into disaster. This is just a wipe. What the fuck happened? What lost the sauce? How did you fall apart so much? Actually, somehow Presto got away from the tank and was able to get the clear out onto the smoker. But the damage is already done. The tank is still sitting at so much HP and is able to probably just cover these end caps. This is just turned into complete disaster for Team Lost to the Sauce. They got super separated. The pole and the jockey initiated the whole thing, landed on top of Rochelle, who was on the information booth. Smoker got the cover on that after the first pole missed, and then Hunter was fighting an intense 1v1 against Coach for like a minute there, like dancing around each other, and finally landed, and Nick was just getting tunneled by the tank, and now Team Lost to the Sauce in a horrible position. They've got a 1-move landing onto Rochelle, who's going to be dying off soon unless they are able to stop that from happening. What happened?
Insane attack. Insane. 5MO, they were just unlucky not to get the corner onto Presto. Presto played well, just keeping his distance, making sure he got punches the right way.
Sue's just dead. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to save him. The commons are just beating on his ass. Double punch landing onto the survivors. Ellis is pulled and separated. This is just, I think they're just going to die here. They're just getting the down out onto Nick there in the corner. There is an incap here, and this is just 2 SI, and this is a stumble landing. That's amazing SI play there by Team 5MO. Absolutely that was class A SI play from Team 5MO. That was amazing. Perfectly played by him. Slight mispositioning from Team Lost in the Sauce, and just completely eliminated any chance that they had of scoring points on this map. And now they have an opportunity to score hugely on this map, because even on high ping, if you play slow and you play calculated, you can do a lot of work on this.
So this is the kind of mistakes that Lost in Sauce should not be making, and definitely 5MO have a real chance of making a lot of bonus here, walking into their home game with a decent score. Yeah, it's dangerous position. If I was in Lost in the Sauce, I would be very unhappy.
Yeah, that was a track cap for the ages. That's one that you remember if you're a Left 4 Dead 2 player and you hit. I think you remember that on both sides for a long time, and so that'll be in the dreams of 5MO and possibly the nightmares between Lost in the Sauce for many years to come.
Frag video time then.
Oh yeah, that's prime frag vid opportunity right there. That's about as nice as it gets in terms of tank wipes in an open area like that. That was very, very good. Wall kick attempt going out here from Sue is going to connect. Charger's not going to be able to land on that though, and Spitter elected to try to spit on where he thought the Charger was going to land instead of on the Hunter, and it did not work out for them. So Team 5MO not getting a ton of damage taken on that last. I think the pressure is on this first tank here to at least get something, because if 5MO walk out of this first tank with 0 end caps to their name, then they're going to be in an amazing position to potentially even make the finale. And honestly, even if the survivors get 1 cannon, they're making up points and they're closing the 1500 score delta that they have before they're. And so, exactly. Literally every single cannon they get is extra credit at this point.
Looks like Deck's giving them orders what floors they'll be taking first.
This is just amazing how with 3 numbers they've had better survivor communication than any team I've ever had. He just says 2-3-1 and it's so concise and perfect. It's like, oh, everyone knows exactly what we're doing, and all of a sudden, yeah, that's all the communication you need.
But definitely, that's what I would be asking my team to do. There's a lot of cans on the 2nd floor. Just get them in. If you can get those in, go for the 3rd floor. Yeah. Then you're on, the home straight. Just get the ones at the bottom.
Yeah, there's only 1 can on the bottom, and it seems like, pretty much every single can is on the 2nd floor. That's the maximum number that you can spawn on. So yeah, now War is on the line for Team Lost in the Sauce. They are having to there's a lot of pressure on the tank for Sheep, I think. Charger's going to go in and miss there onto the survivors. Jockey getting shut down, 1 boom landing, but not a whole lot coming out of that. Nope. And if they LOS hard, then Sheep's just going to go 2nd pass right now, and he's going to not have a lot of opportunity. But it looks like they are not going to be LOSing him properly, so they will have 1 more shot at potentially a rock for this next hit.
Tank's just trying to get any line of sight he can.
Praying for his first control to hang on. It looks like they're going to have to send it head in really quick here if he's not going to take much chip on this first control. Tank is in a pretty rough position right now, looking for something, and they are going to find that 1 boom, but Tank has now gone to 2nd pass. Tank is going to have to look for some kind of commit onto the survivors potential. I think now might be the time that you decide to do it. You wait for the spawns to come up, and with maybe a little bit of trickling horde, you go in with that tank.
It's going to be a hard tank fight here for Sheep. It needs an infected team to land, just like 5MO landed.
I think what you're supposed to do here is, if you're Sheep, is you try to push the survivors toward that staircase on the 2nd, just to give your SI the biggest chance of landing as possible. And it looks like they are going to find an early pull and an early punch out onto Nick. That's going to be solid damage so far. They're going to find the corner out. So this is a 2-cap landing, potentially. Actually, Skeet going out by Kiyomi onto Sue. This is still a ton of damage, though, into the virus rock landing onto Ellis from Sheep, who still has pretty decent health. He's going to find this in-cap out onto deck with this curve rock. That's actually a really solid play. I think, was that a double charge that landed?
Yeah, definitely. It was a double charge, yeah.
Really,
It's
really
just
strong.
a really nice keep by Kayomi. Clearing it, else it would have been a devastating attack.
We will be able to kill off this tank. Jockey going in, looking for something here, but is going to get empty to shut down. Two Boom going out here is going to land, and that will start the horde up a little preemptively for the survivors. But they will get the pickups here, so they will start making up points. And now the survivors, realizing how much damage they took on that tank, which was definitely too much, but they're still going to make up some points here regardless. Now they're in go-go mode, and they want to get all the second floor tanks into the gas tank as quickly as possible before the second tank spawns.
This is the point, though. They need to get some of these cans in. If I was them, I would just maybe even start with just those 4 cans.
Yeah, I think there's some pressure on Presto right now to get maybe a couple burns and delay them a little. They cannot allow too many points to be scored. This is a separation charge up top. They're getting caught completely out of position, and now that's just an in-cap onto him. Again, the positioning from Team 5 is just kind of falling apart. Going maybe a little bit too fast on these cores, and then Nick was just not out of position for that. And that's another separation pouch getting a ton of damage onto deck. Now Presto's going to get these free birds out onto 2 of these cans. That's a big misplay by Team 5MO, and now they are completely reset. Now the tank's going to be spawning relatively soon here, so they need to go really, really fast, get as many pores as they can.
We completely missed that with the spit on the cans there. Too busy actually watching him get caught alone up the top there.
That's another burn. That's also a second floor can. And again, Rochelle just on the second floor, caught out of position. I don't know what Team 5 is doing. They're just completely getting way too separated. Now they might just get wiped here before they're able to score a single can into the tank. And what looked like they're going to be a guaranteed several cans in the tank. And that's a triple burn coming out from those cans. This is absolute. Oh my god, yeah. Presto with the spitter carry burning all of these cans, and now they have to completely Team 5MO, they have to gather themselves and get something. All they need, just 1 or 2 cans even. Just start pouring those fucking cans, guys. Oh, don't get burned. Don't get burned. There comes a certain point where the spitter can burns it just becomes ridiculous.
Yeah. Looks like get 3 in. That's okay. Okay.
Really nicely played by the special infected from Team Lost in the Sauce, just capitalizing on all those mistakes. But if you're Team 5MO, you just hate this. Now tank up in the hands of Presto, and they've got only 1 set of pills left, and they're all bleeding out. Honestly, I think they're just going to keep going for cans. They do not have the health left to fight this tank, really. The one saving grace of this tank fight is that there will be no spitter spawn to potentially burn these cans, which has been a huge thorn in their side so far. They have scored 4 cans, which is not terrible, but I'm interested to see if the tank is going to elect to commit here. Tank is going to go in on this. There is a smoker separation there, but Tank now has kind of nothing other than this 1 boom and a potential Jockey coming in the second. Jockey is going to land onto Rochelle for a bit of damage, but is going to get M2 to shut down. I think the survivors are going to have these pores if they want them.
That was a really good take from the survivors there. Oh, double charge landed. That's definitely a nice charge, but it gets cleared. Tank manages to get it down with that rock. That was a nice curved rock. Smoker being so annoying. He's done that about 3 times now.
Tank just did drop back down. He's going to take a decent amount of damage here. Trying to climb out. He's having some trouble getting to the second floor. He takes about another 10% of chip. Now the survivors are sitting in a position where they can potentially kill this tank, and they are getting this last gas can in that they have here. So they have scored 7 gas cans off of that second floor and the one on the. So they've done a pretty decent job of recovering after those mistakes. That 2 boom and the double cap landing is going to spell potential doom for the survivors, and that's going to be 1 in cap. Only 1 in cap landing off of that, but that is a ton of damage, and I think if they get this pickup, then they might be able to get maybe tops 1 or 2 more cans into the Jimmy Gibbs stock car.
Well, they've done really well. They've closed the gap there, the points. They're just about 1,100 difference now.
Yeah, that's a big play. I mean, even though they could have done a lot more in this chapter than what they've done. They have closed the gap by about 400 points just on this finale. Charger getting completely shut down there. Spitter has nothing to really spit on, so should probably just save and play for those burns, because you do not want 5MO to get any more cans in the tank. Right now they're hauling ass and getting gas. Survivor's just holding on to these cans, not from Presto a little bit optimistic there isn't going to land. And yeah, they've only got the 2 cans. They realize how little health they have. They're happy if they only get 2 more cans. And they're going to get these 2 pours in. And still more points getting made up from Team 5MO. That is going to be a can getting burned though once again by Sheep there. I almost said Presto just because I was so used to seeing him burn so many cans. It's going to be 2 deaths out of the survivors. So they did only manage to get the 1 can off the top floor. So not nicely mitigated by Lost in the Sauce, and that will be the wipe going out onto them. That will be good half going out. And we will be going into the home server for Team 5MO with about a 1,071 points differential out onto the maybe a little bit more. Yeah, no, 1,000 and 1,000 and change. Let's just call it 1,029 point differential.
Yeah, exactly.
It took me a second, but we got there. But yeah, he was just tons of great SI play from both sides, and I think Team 5MO they just got in 2 separate occasions just those solo caps on the second floor. They were completely separated and just turned into disaster. I think that they could have made up a lot more points than that on the finale. I think you're happy with the number of points that you did make up because any points is just extra credit, but I think they need to tighten up a little bit more on their positioning if they're gonna come away with the victory on this game.
Oh, definitely. But that was impressive play from 5MO, especially getting that tank wipe. That was amazing. That's really what you wanted. Again, though, it's such a hard map, and the Lost in Sauce were constantly catching them every time they had one player up solo. He was getting caught. I would like to see what was going to happen in the 5MO's home server. Would they get caught like that? That's the question. Is it just a ping that is playing against them?
I'm not sure. I think when you have the ping and you're presented with an opportunity like that, you're in go-go mode and you're just holding W and hoping for the best. And sometimes you forget your ability to just slow down the game and play at your own pace. And sometimes you just get caught off guard from it. So definitely, I think with the high ping, and they'll have more confidence to be able to take things the way that they want to. Will be.
I'm still my money's still on Lost in the Sauce to win this game, though. They seem really strong together. They landed so much attacks and they made minimal mistakes during that whole game there. That last tank fight was perfection on 5MO's part. Really well played sync attack. They're infected in that tank. Just it was very unlucky that he didn't. I think it was Presto that was still up, or it was Sheep had mistakes. I forget which one it was, but it nearly got cornered. Just managed to escape. If it got cornered, that would have been a perfect by the book tank wipe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pseudo quad cap, but they managed to, regardless, they got 0 cans in the tank, so it was pretty much the same difference as that.
Oh, definitely. You seen it right at the end there when I think it was Wasad that was up solo, and the hunter was just distracting, allowing the charger to land. It was perfection. They were still playing off each other right up to that point where I know myself I would be in a kind of chaotic go-go mode, as you call it, and be just attacking as much as possible. I wouldn't be thinking.
Yeah, honestly, I think that you might be calling it for Lost in the Sauce, but I think that if Lost in the Sauce wants to take this victory, I think that they have to make safer on maps 2 and 3, or at least one map of the 2 with some kind of health bonus, which is going to be very difficult on the Chinese server. So, I mean, like, just knowing how strong Team 5MO are going to be on their home server, on their survivor side, maps 2 and 3 have such huge point potential, and with those tank spawns, they're not particularly difficult tanks to kill. So if they do not stop the survivors from walking in with a huge bonus, they can make those points up in like one map if they get wiped. So they're gonna have to make it. I think they're gonna Team Lost and Stars has to make at least a couple safe rooms on this next campaign if they're gonna stay in the contention to take this match.
Oh, definitely. I think they have the potential of doing it. This is why I was really kind of hyped when I heard I was going to be casting this match. Definitely, I was really looking forward to it. Two really strong teams, 5MO coming out of the Asian kind of scene. We don't really know much about the Asian scene at all. We thought Evo would show up in a big way in this tournament, and they've been really kind of lackluster. You've got a team like 5MO, players that personally I don't know anything about, and they're really showing up big this tournament, making a lot of points and beating a lot of decent teams so far.
Yeah, I've been very impressed by their play. I will say that I do have actually my own match in 30 minutes, so I will have to probably dip out of this second cast, unfortunately. When I do have to go for that.
Who are you going to be playing against?
We're going to be playing against, I believe, Team Constant Motion.
Okay. That's Krycha and Innuendo.
Yeah.
Those guys, yeah. That should be also another good game. They're an up-and-coming team from Europe. A lot of potential in them.
I'm looking forward to a good home and away game for that. But yeah, I will unfortunately have to dip out of this cask, and which is sad because I really want to see the end of this. I'm really looking forward to the way that this game plays out. Do we know if they're taking a break or are they going to go straight into it?
I am not sure. I'm just.
It looks like they are going straight into it. I just saw that they are loading into the server right now.
Yeah, in the chat, Krycha's asking, what about me? I'm just saying how bad you guys are, Krycha, that's all. I'm sorry, man.
So we are set up here for the Bomb server for Team 5MO. Pings so far for Team Lost in the Sauce not looking great. We've got 276, 204, and 209. So not massively different than what Team 5MO had to the home server for Team Lost. But yeah, with only a 1K point differential between the two teams, this could, Team Lost in the Sauce needs to be really on point because one single map can just completely turn the tides here.
Well, definitely, but those tank positions, especially tank map 2 and map 3, they're quite easy to clear. They're not the hardest tank spots. It's not like Lost in the Sauce had to do work on those tanks. So that's a really kind of telling part. They should be able to make it to the safe room each map if they just keep playing as they are. I don't see wipes coming out.
For sure. That being said, Team 5MO, if both teams make every single, but Team 5MO makes up 250 points of health bonus every single map on top of the safe room distance, then they will even up the score delta with just that. So wipe. I think the SI from Team Lost and Sauce has to come out in full force in the same way that Team 5MOs did, just so that they can stop them from scoring all those points and forcing the survivor from Team Lost and Sauce to make every single safe room. Something like a tank wipe on this first map would take up a lot of the pressure off, I think.
Yeah, definitely. But again, it's another map that's really hard to get a wipe in from tank unless you do a lot of damage before they get into the elevator. The tank has to run that whole corridor down, gets one corner. That's about it. If the spawn blocks are on point, there's not much way that the infected come in from. It's a hard tank to get a wipe on.
Yeah, for sure. Whether you take it in the long hallway or you take it in the flaming camp, I think it's not too difficult of a tank to fight either way. I'm just hoping that Team Lost Sauce doesn't eat a ton of charge bits leading up to it, and then we'll be in rough position.
So you might know this K3. Has there been any death charge on Death Center yet?
There was, I believe, actually in I cannot remember. It was Insax versus Provid 19, and I think Provid 19 scored a death charge in the fire room on the second floor of this map. Onto Team Instax. I think it was Lucky's Charger scored a death charge onto Pyro is what it was.
So first attack up, we got a Hunter, Jockey, Spitter, Charger. A nice set attack first one here.
Yeah, definitely a lot could happen on this first hit, and they Team 5MO are looking to set the precedent and set the pace for their momentum on this. So I think the momentum is clearly in their favor after that last, and Team Lost in the Sauce are going to have something to prove here on the Survivor side. So playing this first position with the shotgun, just trying to bait out some kind of hit to go in here so that they can just hold S and run away from the Hunter and the Spit. Shell.
Yeah, you see Wasad just watching that door, but he gets charged. Spit coming down, jockeying forward.
Oh no. That's just the disastrous first hit for Team Lost in the Sauce. Sue got the M2 onto the Hunter, who attempted to initiate, but then got jockeyed forward with an amazing cover. And then the Spit block went down on top of that, and Charge Spit landed, and that was just a ton of damage onto Lost in the Sauce. And if they're taking hits like that, then the point score differential is going to deplete pretty quickly.
Oh, definitely.
Now hearing the in-game chat from Team 5MO, something that we did not hear on their on their lap. So it looks like maybe now that they're on the low ping, they're like, okay, now we're ready to talk. Now we're ready to go into business mode. If they're able to do so much coordination with just saying 2, 3, 1 into their chat, I'm scared to see what kind of coordination they're capable of when they're actually talking to each other. Clearly, they were capable of a lot with that last hit, that Charger landing onto WASD for a lot of damage. And it looks like the survivors are going to be able to walk through here. The SI, once again, from 5MO, did not scratch the fire doors open for the second time in a row.
Still, this is a lot of damage coming out for Lost in Sauce. And the Charger coming in here. This is nice. I'm missing. That was decent.
Yeah, that was a good take by Lost in Sauce. They're not taking too much more damage after those two first hits that really did a number to their tank fighting ability. So they will be bleeding out here for this first tank fight. Do you think they're going to take it in the long hallway where they've kind of got a pretty linear game plan, or do you think they're going to take it in the kitchen the way that 5MO did?
I would definitely opt for the long hallway. It's easy to block the spawns in that area, at least to kind of funnel the infected to come from one direction. And if the infected make one mistake, you can shut them all down. The tank itself, it gets railed so heavy when it comes in. It can only really get about 1 or 2 punches off before it's shut down.
Yeah, for sure.
In the kitchen though, there's so much fire, it's hard to see. The infected can come in from the front or the back. It's hard to kind of block the spawns through the kind of rooms at all. So yeah, it's very dangerous. A lot of potential for a split to happen. Yeah, I would only take it in the kitchen if I was considering pushing out into the main Kingdom Burning room. I don't know what to call it, the lobby area.
Yeah, the room with the fire that does like 50 damage a second.
Yeah.
I would not want to fight a tank in there. If you get punched into that and you've got to get up animation in that fire, you're just pretty much dead.
But describing any room in Dead Center in map 1 is the fire room really doesn't narrow it down.
Yeah, that's kind of an explanatory gap for sure. You have this hit being very patient, waiting for Team Lost in the Sauce.
Yeah, Hunter, Jockey, Smoker, Spitter. They landed a nice tool cap. Spit landed also. Jockey grabbed them, making them walk in that spit for a little bit more.
This is actually a ton of damage. That Smoker got enough distraction on the front to allow a jockey to land again in that spit. That's just massive damage coming out. Now they're really worse for wear, looking for this this tank fight, and now they're in a pretty tough position for this tank. It looks like they're going to have to commit a bunch of pills as soon as the tank comes in.
That's 2 pills gone before the tank even comes in, and Sue's just 2 or 3 punches until he's down. He has to commit with pills just as the tank comes in also.
Boom. Boomer's found a really sneaky spawn in that room. That's going to be a 1 boom now. Potentially a 2 boom if they do not kill this Boomer off quick. They do manage to only make it a 1 boom, but that will be the tank committing here for the SI in the hands of Kalank, looking for something. It's managed to find a triple punch onto the survivors. This is a double charge. This is just a wipe. The survivors just completely got wiped out here, and that's just massive for the special infected. Really, really strong from them. Just getting that 1 boom with the slightly delayed horde on the way in. Then the triple punch landing onto the survivors. They just got really bunched up. Double charge after that. You know, if you get triple punched into a double charge, there's just no hope for you at that point. You just get wiped.
Yeah, your best just disconnecting your keyboard and just letting the tank do its job.
Yeah, just watching and just going into spectator mode, watching as your survivor gets destroyed. Yeah, so very nicely played by Team 5MO. You know, now they're in their position. If they make it to that tank with good health, and they don't need a bunch of spit charges on their way, and they fight that tank off, they could have a good position to already be making up points. And you know, if you're going into the maps 2, 3, and 4 with, you know, say only 500 score differential, then all of a sudden your job is a lot easier.
So I'm excited to see how Lost in the Sauce deal with the ping. Are they going to still land those devastating attacks they were landing last game? Looks like 5MO have really stepped up their caliber skill here, so it's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, 5MO playing with a lot of patience right now, keeping that safe room locked. Kiyomi with the shotgun up in the front. They are going to make a push forward. They are going to find a wall kick out onto Coach. That's actually a charge forward. They could have gone for a death charge there. They could have. This is a ton of damage. This is amazing damage with the charge spit and the jockey forward. But I actually think that with that spit, if they put the spit block down there as a distraction, then they could have gone for that death charge out this front window here if they so elected to do so. Granted, that's still fantastic damage, but maybe a potential missed opportunity for that kill.
Well, either way, I think Rochelle, Quantic, Deck would have been right in behind it, shooting that charger from behind. And,
is Quantic Deck?
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that was his Twitch.
It might not be. It might be someone else's Twitch. Just advertising.
Oh yeah, supporting the boys. Do have 5MO moving up here really carefully. They do not want to walk into the death charge, as Team Lost Sauce did scratch open the fire doors, rightfully so. Interested to see if they might actually just run through these front fire doors. Actually, Hunter getting completely picked there, looking for the wall kick, is going to land a charge spit there for a bit of, but maybe not as quite the type of hit that they were looking for. I thought it would have been actually potentially a good play to run through this one fire and only take like the 5 damage that he would have taken and going through there.
I think the Charger was going to attempt a death charge there. He had a lot of potential, but he just elected to catch one, get him in spit. Obviously,
nice.
the correct thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. I think nice recovery overall from 5MO, not taking too much damage after that pretty disastrous first hit. But now they're sitting in a pretty decent position to take this tank fight, and ideally, in their eyes, you know, if they can make some bonus out there sitting.
This is what you said, though. Lost in the Sauce have to make it to the end of these rounds. They can't get wiped each map. They don't have the bonus to really continue like that. Attack coming in, Charger missing, Jockey getting shut down quite nicely. Charger getting a punch out, and the Jockey actually landed for a tick of damage.
Yeah, not half bad damage off of that last hit. You know, nothing too significant. Now the survivors are sitting in a strong position. Looks like they are going to fight the tank in this kitchen once again, in Hell's Kitchen.
Oh,
now tank up for Presto, tank up in the hands of Presto, just like the first game before this map 1. And now the pressure is on to make some kind of damage happen because they're sitting at 500 bonus, which is way, way too much for a map 1. And then they don't want to only be up by 500 for the last 3 maps. That's way too little of a delta.
This is what I like to see, though. This is definitely more of an Asian tactic. Europeans, Americans, they always take it in the corridor. But this might actually be the tactic coming out from the Asian kind of scene.
Yeah, maybe just kite through the fire and just force the tank to take extra damage. I guess it's definitely harder to land your SI in this kitchen when you're trying to jump over the tables and stuff like that. There is the potential for maybe a jock forward into the death fire, but we'll see. They do have a solid setup for this tank support. We do have the tank of Presto rolling in here, looking for some kind of big play. Hunter is scratching open the door for his tank comrade, looking for something. The hit's going to go in early. Charge is going to miss and get shut down. Hunter is going to land there onto Coach, but is going to get cleared off fairly quickly. Jockey is now looking for some kind of play. Presto's having a hard time getting his first corner. He does finally get the corner out onto Nick, but that's a dead tank with only 1 in cap and not a very strong damage coming out from Team Lost in the Sauce, maybe as they may have wanted. And now they're sitting at 382 health bonus leading into this last hit.
It's holding into this last hit. They really have to chip away. Damage bonus, health bonus, whatever. They just have to do damage here. Get this health bonus away.
Yeah, if they can land like a pull charge spirit onto Nick and get a lot of that damage bonus, then that would do wonders for their score. Do need to watch out because Rochelle's kind of in the back. They're looking for that pull forward. They do land it onto Kiyomi, and this is going to be a charge landing onto Rochelle. Spit's going to not miss. The Spit gets blocked by one of the survivors before it can land on. That will be almost no damage coming out of that hit, which initially looked like it was going to be a ton. So nicely done by the survivors. We'll be walking to the safe room with a 328 health bonus, closing the gap already by, as I said, almost 500 points. Now sitting at basically, like a 600-point game going into these last 3 maps. And now the pressure is really on the survivor from Team Lost in the Sauce to make some big plays.
Well, 5MO are sitting in a good position. This is what you want to see. This is going to turn into a game. Lost in the Sauce really have to play the best Left 4 Dead they can play, keep their lead. Especially going into this second map, it's going to be devastating. 5MO were able to land damage after damage on each attack last map there. So can they replicate that? Can they do that again? That's the question.
Yeah, I think you can pretty much expect that it's almost a given that 5MO is going to probably be making a lot of these safe rooms. So I think the pressure is just on the survivor from Team Lost in the Sauce to just hold pace and keep up with them and stop them from widening the gap too much. You know, maybe they can pull some kind of big tank wipe on one of these tanks with a separation or something like that. But I don't know, with the way that Team 5MO are playing their survivor, they've just really tightened it up. They've made the necessary adaptations.
This is definitely a full push out from their team there. They're electing just to continue all the way forward. Charger landed for £1. Hunter landed, also the Smoker. That's decent damage coming in.
Yeah, on the scoreboard, it's not showing a ton, but everything did land, even though it was slightly, maybe not all at the same time, but they are landing all of their SI even on their away server, which is just, it's showing that they're not out of it completely, that they're not getting their hits completely eradicated. So, you know, they still got a fighting chance of this.
Yeah, that was my mistake there. I thought that was going to be quite a bit of damage. Then I checked and it definitely was not. The fast clears coming out. Everything landing, but fast clears.
Yeah, sometimes it's all you need. If the SI are not landing all at the exact same time and you're able to clear them fast, you're able to walk out of each hit without taking much at all. Do have a charger looking for a sticky spawn in the back, is going to find it, but it's going to get stumbled by the boomer, still manages to land the charge spit. This is a lot of damage that's going to go out onto Nick, who is stuck in that spit for a long time. He's going to take almost 40 damage there from that charge spit attempt. So again, pretty solid hit from Team Lost in the Sauce. This tank fight is going to be big, though. They need some kind of in-cap or something off of this tank. Because if survivors walk out of here with all 4 greens, it's just going to be really, really grim to try to get more damage on them for the rest of this map. the choke points on this map, if you're running fast through them, is just going to start to become few and far between.
Yeah, you really wonder where the map's going if survivors are shutting you down like that. You just think